And away we go. It is the aftermath. Brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken. Live from the Cincy Light Studios right here on BearcatJournal.com. And that's right. Your screen is not deceiving you. The Bearcats went on the road and pulled out by far the guttiest win of the Scott Satterfield era. Probably the best win of the Scott Satterfield era. 37-34. Go see our good friends at Galactic Fried Chicken. Galactic is back. The Galactic goodness is back. They are open. They are welcoming to all. If you haven't been there before, go see our good friends. They're in Dayton, Kentucky. They're right on the main strip. So they will get you taken care of. Don't worry. I know people worry about crossing the moat over into Northern Kentucky. It's right by the levee. It's like 3 minutes from the levee, and you're at Galactic Fried Chicken. So go see them. They've got great chicken tenders, great fried chicken. Love the chicken bites. Those are amazing. Great sides, and they will get you taken care of. It is, for my money, the best fried chicken in the city of Cincinnati. All right, Aaron. These are so much better. So much better. The wraps are also phenomenal. Yeah, they're so much better when they win.
Yes.
And today, they won. Are you going to take down the thing? There you go.
I was waiting for you to say the score.
I did a couple times. 37-34, Cincinnati wins. They score late. I did for the first time in my life, Aaron, on the ride home. I'm going to get your opinion on this. Dan Horde thinks that Kansas let Cincinnati score at the end.
Maybe. Truthfully.
If you stop them, you win.
Honestly, who was stopping anybody today?
Good point. Good point.
Especially in that second half.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. There was 1,200. This was Big 12, like the biggest Big 12. Like, welcome to the Cincinnati after 3 years, Aaron. Finally, well, I guess Texas Tech last year counts in this category as well. But welcome to the Big 12 as the Bearcats outlast the Jayhawks. I will get into it before we get started. That was as poorly officiated a game as I've ever seen. I don't do this because they win or because they lose. When the refs are abhorrently bad, we call them out. And that was abhorrently bad. My goodness.
I don't know, truthfully, at this point, I don't know what was worse between the missed face masks in the first half. There were two of them. Just
the phantom holding on DeAndre Buford in the first half, where he stayed inside and flattened his guy. You're allowed to do that.
And if they call holding on Buford later in the game after kind of some of the other things he did throughout the game, I would have understood. But yeah, I'm with and grabbing the jersey from the side and it moves to the back because it's a jersey. That was a terrible call, as well as that negates a kickoff return. Also, I don't believe that you can actually in good faith make the call based on, and Golick mentioned it on the broadcast, that it seemed as if your receiver was going to run out of bounds, but you can't make that decision that the receiver was going to run out of bounds unless he goes out of bounds untouched to make that call. That was also a terrible call.
So much of it just made no damn sense. Like, what are we doing? They call block in the back on Cincinnati, and then Jake Golday gets shoved down from behind as he's got a beat on Jalen Daniels. They let that go. Daniels escapes for 25 yards. You're allowed to have your hand on a tackler without shoving. Yes, you are. He didn't shove him.
To the side. Yeah. Not in the back or on the back of the jersey. But again, he grabbed the sleeve and it moved the sleeve to the back of where his pads were. I don't know. And I guess maybe you let go, but I don't know.
It was bad. was just bad officiating and very one-sided most of the day. Most of the day.
Well, and then you make the call to measure the third down.
The third down, but you don't measure the fourth.
Which and they mentioned on the broadcast that the ball placement was not reviewable there. I don't know how that's even possible.
It is.
The ball placement should always be reviewable. I know. Look, I would love to get Scott Satterfield in a closed room off the record to ask him what he was even talking to the referees about on several different occasions, not just once, not twice, but several different occasions. I don't know that I've seen him that heated up in a good long while with the referees. He's not one to just kind of lose his mind in that regard. So I don't know what was happening there. But you get the win in a game that Cincinnati does not traditionally win. Certainly not in the Scott Satterfield era. Cincinnati does not traditionally win those games at all. But to get that win in the Scott Satterfield era, huge win.
I mean, Aaron, they didn't make the catastrophic mistake, right? How many
times
have we talked about it? Well, but they didn't. But they didn't.
Right.
And they got the turnover. And yeah, I mean, that didn't. Cincinnati got out of the, minus territory. They punted. It was an 85-yard flip of the field. It shortened the game in their favor ultimately. But you finally get the big turnover. As Jalen Daniels is headed into the end zone, Antoine Peak, who the Peak punch is back at it again.
That needs to be
that needs to be a drink at some establishment in Greater Cincinnati. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge to a couple of listening. The Peak punch, because it's undefeated.
He and his dad should copyright that.
This Gray Bush, the white hat, was staring at the play on targeting on Brendan Sorsby, did not throw the flag.
Thanks to Hunter for the donation. He says, the refs can't stop us. The Jayhawks can't stop us. Look out, boys. We're going to Dallas. Book it, baby. Appreciate your $20, sir.
I mean, sure. After today, feel good about things. But no. The officiating, that can't happen in a game of that magnitude.
It shouldn't happen in any game. What do you mean?
I know, but like a conference game with two teams that are playing a great game. Great game between those two teams. There can't be that many screw-ups by the officials over and over and over again. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I don't know how to make heads or tails of it. It was your word abhorrent. That's the only way you can call it.
It was a Travis Shamockery of the officiating profession.
I don't know what that's a reference to, but okay.
It's an old commercial. Travis Shamockery. It's a travesty, a sham, and a mockery all at the same time.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, the TNT flag graphic was way late constantly.
I don't know if that was their flag graphic or the flags coming in late when the refs decided, that play was too big. We can't let that happen.
Yeah. I will say, Kevin's gaming channel, welcome to the site. Nothing will happen to the refs. Everybody's seen how bad it was, and nothing will happen. The Big 12 has punished poor officiating more than any league I've ever seen. This season, last season, they are not afraid. Like Yormark said at the end of last year, like, we can't continue to have bad officiating. Can't do it. So yeah.
Before we break down the game, though, I did want to mention, I know we've seen people talking about it online. We kind of touched on it here for a second. The TNT broadcast as a whole was a breath of fresh air. Breath of fresh air. I think Mike Golick is outstanding. I don't know how, with all of his ties to ESPN, he ends up on TNT of all places. But it was an impressive from start to finish. I missed I'm watching the children this morning. I missed a large majority of the pregame show and even the preview, but halftime was great. I thought the postgame was fantastic as they didn't go straight into talking about another game. They actually recapped the game. They had the Brendan Sorsby interview.
Imagine that.
I thought, again, just well done all around, and I can't say enough good things about the TNT broadcast as a whole.
Agreed. It was I've never seen 4 touchdowns call back in a game.
I mean, for Dan Horde to even call that out, he doesn't like to get in the controversial lane very often, but he mentioned four touchdowns overturned.
4. I think 2 of them, like I said, the Buford one, that was a good call. Like,
I agree.
The guy crossed in front of him.
Should have never been in a position. Should have never been in a position to get called for holding.
You
right there, that close.
The guy runs right across your face, and you're late, and you grab him. But I mean, 2 of them were just like the first Sorsby touchdown that they called back. That Buford they called for the hold. His hand stayed inside. He engaged, and the guy went down. Like, what about that was holding? What about that was illegal play from an offensive lineman?
I can't answer that for you.
The Covey touchdown, laughable on the punt return. Mm-hmm. That's a guy that the gunner overshot his assignment.
They called it on Ormani Arnold.
Yeah.
No,
it's Noah Jennings.
Was it?
They said on the radio on the way home it was Noah Jennings.
It was number 8.
Yes, but Noah Jennings is also number 8.
Okay. I assumed as much. I just made the assumption it was Ormani Arnold down there.
Yeah, you have a 220-pound running back on the goal line. No reason to hold even if you get beat. I agree there, but he just reacted to letting the guy come like right across in front of him. He reacted. He grabbed him. Yeah, like I don't think he held because he like thought this guy's got a free shot at the running back. I think he was like, "Oh shit, grab him." But yes, yeah, the illegal forward pass, no flag. But look, that's all I need to say about the officials. It was terrible, objectively terrible. That tape that UC sends to the conference on "you screwed up" is going to be a long one this week. It's going to be a long one. It might be like half an hour of this is stuff you screwed up today. But Aaron, so many times we have seen that stuff derail this team. And today it didn't.
It didn't.
1st and 20, 2nd and 20, they would get it back in chunks. The throw to Royer, where I'm guessing that was a concussion if you saw him come down.
I'd assume the same. Yeah.
Great play there. The Noah Jennings catch, one-handed on the run on 4th and 10 to save the game.
That could be, truthfully, if this goes the way that it may go, that could be a season-saving catch.
A season-changing catch, absolutely. Absolutely. Because you're done at that point in time.
Cooked.
You got 2 timeouts. You're past the 2-minute warning. You are cooked if he doesn't catch that ball. And just a smooth, and thank you to somebody for talking about our coverage of the wide receivers all throughout camp.
Gotcha.
Spot on the wide receivers all year, from depth chart to breakout stars and players to look out for. Always shouted out Noah Jennings. What a grab. Look, I'm just talking about what I see in practice. And Noah Jennings made plays all camp. We talked about him a ton. So kudos to him for, a guy that isn't in the ones, technically, plays a lot, put him in a big spot, made a big play. And how about Brendan Sorsby? Just cooked today. Just cooked today.
In the post game, I don't know if you stuck around. He's got a hell of a salsa, by the way. They asked I guess that this is a weekly thing that they're doing because Victor Cruz is in on the post game show from the studio, and he
Yeah.
wants whoever they're interviewing
Everybody does salsa.
to do their salsa. And Scoresby had a hell of a salsa, and he attributed it to him being a Cowboys fan. But it was it was pretty good.
And we'll get to defense in a little bit.
He did say that he was getting Noah Jennings a gift this week for that catch because he made Scoresby put it in a place where only he could get it, truthfully.
Yeah.
But it was not a well-placed ball, but hell of a pluck.
Hell of a pluck. Gavin Grover, how did they not review that? How is that not reviewed to see if that's a touchdown or not?
I tweeted about because again, I didn't think that you had for ball placement for if it's that close to call that you had to review or challenge.
You don't in college. You don't. It's supposed to come from upstairs.
That's what I thought, and it was weird. I know somebody had tweeted out that when Kansas got the illegal touching call, they didn't ever spot the ball correctly, and we had to burn a timeout for them to try and spot the ball correctly, and they still didn't spot the ball correctly even after the timeout, which that's crazy.
That was one of those many times Satterfield was over yelling at the refs.
I'm saying
that's not even getting to the time that UC got pushed out of bounds, reestablished, caught the ball.
I don't expect him, because he will not get fined. I don't expect him to say anything that will get him fined, but I think you should press him a little bit to ask him what was going on when you get him for Tuesday on the his
Let's
media
workshop this, right? So it's not going to say anything specifically, but like, let's coach. If you guys were making a DVD out of this game to send to Dallas, Texas, like how long was or would that DVD or that video file be? Would that be a 6-minute video file? Would that be a 10-minute video file?
I'm very curious if, given your conversations throughout the week, you're able to find something that you can share with us off the air, just to find out how egregious that film session ended up being.
Yeah. What's up, B? Big B in the house. Big 12 Insiders. Now you're going to want to have me on this week before the Bearcats play Iowa State next Saturday. That's what happens. You win games, people want to start talking about you. You got Big B in the chat.
Appreciate the compliment, though, sir.
Yeah, you got to preface every part of the question. Hypothetically, if you were to send a video file to the Big 12, how long would that file be in there? How many plays would be on that video file that maybe went to the conference office this week? Nonetheless, the running game was excellent. Evan Pryor did 6 carries, 90 yards, did Evan Pryor things. Tyree Walker did Tyree Walker things. Being a bulldozer, being a battering ram. He gets 2 touchdowns.
I had one gripe with the run game today, and it was at halftime when you have the ball with 3:15 left, when you get that possession and you run it 3 straight times, taking you past the 2-minute warning, 2-minute timeout or whatever we're calling it. I don't even know. I didn't love the play calling there, running the ball 3 times, regardless of how well the run game was working. It just seemed odd for comparatively to the rest of the way the game was called.
Yeah, I mean, I think in that, like, they were at the 6-yard line. And I think Kansas was playing way off, trying to make sure that nothing happened. So you give it to your speed guy and hope he can find a little space, and he did. Like, I'd like to be a little bit more aggressive there, but I think it's probably one of those, they're playing their safeties way, way back. The linebackers have dropped, and you get a little bit of running room.
No, I'm talking about the possession where they go 3 and out.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the one at the end.
No, right before
the end of the half where they got the field goal. Yeah, they got a field goal there.
Where am I?
When they punted to Covey, he scores a touchdown. They call it back. UC starts at the 6-yard line, and then they went down and got a field goal right before half. It was it's the best end to half we've seen in ages. I'll see what you're talking about.
Maybe it was around. I know for a fact there was 3:15 left on the clock. Maybe it was before that last possession then.
Okay, it was at 147. It went 315 to 147 punt. Then they Kansas punted it right back.
It was,
and
but it
right
was
down.
Yeah, it was just a strange possession though to run the ball 3 times there as your passing game's looked great at that point. And I just the run game was looking good too. I just don't know why you run it 3 straight times right there with essentially 3 minutes to move the field and put points up on the board while chewing up the clock. I understand wanting to run the ball to chew the clock there, but you didn't go anywhere and you just kept running. But that was my only gripe with the run game the entire day. I had 0 issue outside of that.
Yeah. And offensively, what else you got? I mean, there's a lot to get to.
Brendan Sorsby looked like Brendan Sorsby. We have not seen this Brendan Sorsby in a big game outside of
Texas Tech.
But it's
Texas Tech last year. Yeah.
Been a long time since we've seen Brendan Sorsby look comfortable in a big game, and I won't sell this game short of anything less than a big game for Brendan Sorsby, for Scott Satterfield, for the Bearcats program as a whole, for your season. Truthfully, it was a big game, and Brendan Sorsby stepped up in the moment to go 29 of 43. Yeah, it's only 67%. I thought he looked great all day, though.
67% is wonderful. And it, like when you throw it that much, 67%, I'll take. You'd like him to be at 70. That's kind of the target number.
Barometer,
67. Yeah. Anything under 60, you're like, we weren't super efficient. You're that close to 70. You had a damn good day.
He went for 388, though, 2 touchdowns. I thought his intermediate game came to life. I don't recall seeing him have this good of an intermediate. This good of an intermediate game. And even leading the guys that he led, they were able to hang on to the ball when they were thrown into a trajectory, essentially. So he did have some where guys probably came back to the huddle like, come on, man, what was that?
Right.
But, Cyrus Allen had a day, 11 catches, 128 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Did it feel like Caleb Goody had that good of a day?
The numbers I didn't look until just now, and the number surprised me. That 5 catches for 91 yards. Just a great day as well. You mentioned the catch that Royer had.
Isaiah Johnson had a big one for 33 yards. They went
Gavin
up and down. Nine guys caught a pass.
Gavin Grover with his catch and run, biggest play of his career. I think easily.
Royer out. Go make a play, young fella.
I still think he scored. I don't know how you don't review that, because he fell short, but all that has to break the plane is the nose of the football, and I think the nose of the football did break that plane. I digress. But Isaiah Johnson with that catch. He almost had a second one. Obviously, it was called back with the illegal touching, getting called out of bounds there. But
he got pushed out of bounds, by the way.
Evan Pryor, his grab, actually, he only had 1 catch, but his grab was a catch that he dropped earlier this season.
Yeah.
So that was, I thought that his catch was actually something I wanted to make sure I did talk about, because I was pretty critical of him for that drop earlier against Nebraska, I believe. And he certainly made up for it today with that catch. But yeah, I don't know that I have any much more to talk about. I thought pass protection was pretty good. Sorsby danced around an awful lot, and that's where it gets a little bit difficult for those tackles to contain the pressure. Sorsby did go down once, I believe.
1 sack. His first sack of the season.
But outside of that, he got hit several times, but I thought overall that the line did a pretty good job. I'm curious, though, as to, especially when you saw several penalties for DeAndre Buford, why no Ethan Green switch out. I guess they just decided to ride with Buford. But
the one wasn't the foul. The other one was. Anyhow, I digress.
Yeah.
I just somebody was asking at the Holy Grail, like, why are they not targeting Royer much early in the game? You could see Kansas was bracketing Royer for the most part as much as they could.
Shocker.
The challenge there is, okay, you're going to go you're going to go straight up on him. You're going to double him. Fine. There's going to be other guys open. And I thought they did a lot of bend but don't break stuff. Kansas did. And Sorsby took it. Took the easy throws, had a little bit of, longer developing routes on some of the crossing stuff. But he took what Kansas gave him. They weren't going to give you the over top stuff. Okay, hit the guy over the middle running free for 8, 9, 10 yards, 12 yards. Let him run a little bit. They didn't force it down the sidelines. Kansas was clearly trying to take that away. Yeah. They took what was there. I thought it was a well called and well executed offensive game plan pretty much across the board. Like, there was really very little where I thought they took their foot off the gas or they tried to get cute. Like, I didn't sense that at all.
Just that one drive where they went 3 and out with those 3 runs. Again, that's where I say that stood out as a blip on the radar comparatively to the rest of the entire day play calling.
And I would need to ask, were they showing a light box? Was that something that triggered run plays where maybe there would have been a pass mixed in there, but you see that they've only got 5 guys in the box or whatever. You're like, okay, we're going to catch them off guard, thinking with 2 minutes left in the half, they're going to try to push the ball down the field. That would just be something I'd need to see before I really got worked up about the 3 running plays. But other than that, though, man, they mixed it. They gave it to both backs. They used Sorsby a little bit in the running game. How about, did you feel like Kansas was diving at his knees all game? They did it 3 times.
I didn't in real time. And I don't know that it's enough to say that they were doing it nefariously, because it didn't stand out to me in watching it in real time. Trying to look back on it, I can see several plays in my head now where it did happen, but I don't want to point a finger and say I think they were being dirty about it. I'd have to go back and rewatch to feel that way.
I mean, I'm guessing
for me.
It's probably wise. You don't want to try to hit these 6'4", 240 pounds. Like, we've seen guys bounce off of them. I'm not saying it was dirty. I'm just saying that looked like a strategy they were trying to employ. They weren't trying to take out his knees, but they were aiming below his thighs, I thought.
Jared mentions the tabletop one, where he gets hit in the back and hit in the back and then hit at the knees at the same time, and he ends up getting bent very awkwardly, got up gingerly after that.
The first play of the game on offense, he got hit in the knee. Remember, or first drive of the game on offense, might have been 3rd down, and he got up limping to the sideline.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's certainly one way to do it. If you got a guy, and I wouldn't blame them, like you said, if you got a guy who's that mobile and had been, why not try and take out the mobility?
Yeah.
But I thought that the targeting call, I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I didn't think that it was.
No, that's textbook targeting.
I think that was, truthfully, I think that was just the fact that guy who hit him was 5'8" and he's 6'4", and so he hits him with the crown because he's shorter than him.
You can hit him straight up. He literally, when he took his final step, put his head down and launched into him. That's targeting. That's by definition targeting. Are you an official in the Big 12 conference, Aaron?
No worse than was it Simeon Coleman with the tap on the head.
Oh my God.
I understand that it was within the intent of the rule, but you just just don't do that. If you're Simeon, just don't.
Well, I think he was up in the shoulder pads and Daniel's helmet turned, so his hand kind of brushed his helmet. Like, I don't think that wasn't this.
I don't think it was vicious. I don't think it was nefarious. I don't think it was anything malicious or anything like that. I just think it was him just kind of being like, didn't get you. It was almost like a head tap. Like,
yeah,
I'll get you next time. But
there was nothing aggressive about that at all.
You just can't do those things.
True.
Don't put yourself in a position. It kind of like the holding call on the goal line. Don't put yourself in a position to be called for something like that. I don't know.
How about this one, Aaron? 34-36 to 25-24. The Bearcats won the time of possession in a football game. Hot damn. You know how they did that? Cincinnati ran 81 plays to 55 plays for Kansas. Now, some of that is because Kansas had 2 one-play drives for touchdowns.
Well, they had several huge plays for touchdowns.
Yeah, and we'll move over to the defense now. You got anything else on offense? You good?
I think I'm good.
We'll move over to the defense. This is today, watching that game. If you listen to the Scott Satterfield weekly press conference, there is a reason. The first thing I asked him was about eye discipline, because Kansas' entire offense is trying. How many? I think 4 times, Aaron. There were 2 guys going out into a route, and the defense went with 1. Both defenders went with 1, and the second guy slips out wide open. It happened on the touchdown. Happened on 2 different touchdowns. One that the tight end caught, ended up wide open up the seam, and then it happened at I think their last touchdown, where 2 guys go with the eye candy, and the wide receiver slips right in, standing in the middle of the end zone, nobody on him, for an easy touchdown catch. We saw it on the first play Kansas had all game. Matthew McDoom gets caught up on the play action, and you can see him start to shift his weight, and then, oh shit, and as he turns, he slips. That's the fastest guy on the field. There is no planet where you're coming up in run support and letting that guy just run by you down the sideline. Terrible read by McDoom. He's been good this year. That was bad. Unequivocally terrible.
And McDoom did make up for it later in the game, where he has a pass defense in the end zone on a fantastic breakup. But yeah, I feel like there was probably about 4 or 5 different plays where Kansas receivers just ran free past the last line of defense, whether that be Logan Wilson, whether it was Taden Barnes at one point, whether it was Matthew McDoom. It happened several plays.
I almost felt bad on the second long touchdown, because did you see what happened?
He slipped again. If it was Taden Barnes, right?
He didn't slip. I mean, Jalen Daniels threw a terrible ball that was 2 feet behind the receiver, and Barnes is in stride, probably 3 yards behind the receiver, and the ball is thrown so poorly, Barnes reacts because he thinks he's going to have a play on it, and he shifts his weight. The receiver catches it, pirouettes, and Barnes isn't able to get stable again. If that's a good pass, Barnes is there for the tackle, because he closes on him from 2 yards and makes the tackle. But you can see he's running, and because the pass was thrown so far behind the receiver, Barnes reacts and gives it one of these, thinking, I've got an easy interception because it's a terrible pass. And the Alabama transfer, I'm just going to call him Alabama transfer, that had 214 yards. Yeah, the Alabama transfer,
on 5 catches.
Yeah. And I do think you're right, Fink. I think that was Romani Arnold that had the PBU in the end zone, not McDoom. I think it was Arnold. But yeah, it's a bad pass. Like, I feel bad for Taden Barnes because he did what he was supposed to do in that situation. And the kid just does a great job reacting to where the pass is, pirouettes, and 75 yards running down the field for a touchdown. Yeah, too many.
You've
Too many.
Sound out. Yeah, I can't hear you. You're muted. No?
No.
Well, something happened with my sound then.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, my headphones went out. That's fun.
Greg, we are happy. But we talk about the game here. That's what we do. We're happy.
Oh, man. You're only as good as your tools. Hang on.
Okay.
Try and
your audio's fine. I'm hearing you clear as day, Aaron. So you might have to do this just without listening to me.
I got you. There you are.
Okay. There you go. But yeah, so I didn't 100% fault Barnes on that one because I do think he was reacting to the pass and trying to make a play. It ended up poorly. The McDoom one, you can't make that mistake. And then too many times. Go ahead.
The stat book did have Ormani Arnold with the breakup, by the way, in the official stat book. So
you could tell just because how short the guy was as he made the like stretching, reaching deflection to knock the ball away. Just too many times, Aaron, where the eye discipline was bad. You see them put a guy in motion, two guys react to it, two guys follow one, and then somebody's just standing wide open down the field. That's what that Kansas offense wants to do to you. And you have to be better disciplined on defense so that you don't bite. And they bit a lot today.
Yeah, I think that I was having a text conversation with a friend, and I think that Nebraska probably prepared you for this game, just with how much Nebraska did pass the ball, and kind of made plays after the catch. I think that you saw a lot of the same here in this game.
Yeah, I thought the tackling overall was pretty good. There was a couple missed. Like, it wasn't perfect,
right?
But it was better than it was against Bowling Green.
Yeah. It's still something I think they need to clean up.
Yeah.
Continue to clean up. You also have to find ways to. You can't, in a game like this, to have only one PBU. I think that you need to figure out ways to get guys, I don't know, more around the plays. Like, that's how you create the turnovers that we have been missing.
They're in zone, man.
Well, and if you're in zone, you shouldn't have guys running past you either. Especially in as soft a zone as they play, to have as many guys that beat you today in coverage in a zone, that's crazy to me.
I agree with you there, Jared. I was just about to bring that up. The first third down that I remember, first big third down for Kansas, they played man, got off the field, forced a punt, and then I don't recall seeing it again.
That was their second possession because the first possession went disastrously bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No pressure, guys wide open. I have no idea how you have both. You're sitting in zone. You're playing your zone, and the job is guy catches the ball, you run and tackle him.
If you do that against teams like Baylor, though, teams like Texas Tech,
TCU,
you're going to get eaten alive.
I mean, they gave up 600 yards. Jalen Daniels threw for 445 yards today. They got eaten alive.
Only the second time in his 17-year career that he's gone over 400 yards, by the way.
They got eaten alive. The defense was not great. Bob.gif. They did Aaron. I will give them credit. Kansas was only 3 of 9 on third down, but then you let them get 2 of 2 on fourth down. So ultimately, they had 9 times that they got the third down. They got first downs on 5 of them. What do you think the difference was for execution for this game in Nebraska? I think Kansas is just better than Nebraska. Quite a bit. Quite a bit.
I'm wondering, though, if the question is about the difference for Cincinnati's execution.
Well, we're talking about defense. They did a good job slowing down Nebraska. Now, Nebraska put up numbers, but I'm not going to attempt your name. A June? The big difference was those big plays, right? Like, part of this design is to keep teams out of let them go up in between the 20s, keep them out of the end zone. When they're hitting from 75 yards, when they're hitting from 93 yards, total systems failure. There were way, way too many big plays.
Well, I think it helped too. Kansas, granted, they didn't have a ton of third downs, largely because they hit on a lot of their first and second downs. Yeah. But you hold them to 3 of 9 on third downs. I think that you did make them fairly one-dimensional, which is one of the things that I said you needed to do. It's hard to say that you gave up 600 yards and somehow made them one-dimensional. But 27 carries for 152. Granted, again, that's 5.6 yards per carry, but I didn't think they had, like, in my head, without going back and rewatching the game, they didn't have a crazy run game against this offense.
You're right, Jared. You're right. They did hold on that fourth down, no matter what the stat book says. They got to stop. They did not get back to the line to gain.
Just didn't measure it. Well, I think that they did measure it. They just didn't review the ball placement, which
they measured it, but they didn't check to see that it was spotted properly. Daniel's good. I mean, he's not a guy that's going to beat you throwing the ball down the field, over and over again. But he's going to take what you give him, and he's accurate. And he's going to make you pay when guys are open. And there were too many guys open. Some of that's on Cincinnati. Like I said, you can't just there's 2 defenders and 2 offensive players, and both defenders go with one guy and leave the other guy running free. That's on the defense. Of course, Jalen Daniels is going to make that throw. There's a guy running wide open because you have 2 defenders over here, and one of them should be over there.
Yeah.
So, Jake Golday was all over the damn place again.
Leading tackler again. Shocker.
Yeah.
He had 8 in this one. He had a down game. He only had 8. Didn't get double digits.
Yeah. Only 8 tackles and only 1 QB hurry. So, Golday is going to have to get back on track. But let's face it, Aaron. I think it's safe to say this. This is a significantly downgraded defense if Dante Corleone is not on the field doing what Dante Corleone does.
Well, it's also a team that probably should have won this game by about 12 more points if you don't do some certain things. And but speaking more on the defense, Dante's absence was certainly missed. You wonder what he would have done in regards to pressure on Jalen Daniels. I did like towards the end of the game where they started flushing him to one side. They did not give him the other side. And you wonder why you weren't doing this sooner.
Did you see what they did? I've never seen it. Did you see what they did?
Right.
They started lining up 3 defensive linemen on the right side of Kansas's offensive line.
That's what I'm talking about.
There was nobody on the left side of Kansas. The left guard and the left tackle were just like doing this.
Chilling.
They were chilling. Now, a bunch of those times they only rushed 2, but it just changed the look. And CJ McCray got back there once. I think it was Rob Jackson maybe that got back, either Rob Jackson or Marquez Parker.
Just makes you wonder why you aren't trying to do some things like this earlier in the game, throughout the game. yeah, you wanted to clearly keep him out of that side of his comfort zone where he can roll
Yeah.
out that way, and he's more comfortable not throwing across his body from that side.
It was a brilliant change at the end of the game, though, because he
Yeah.
had no clue what to do with it.
He didn't want to run. He didn't want to scramble to his, I guess, what, left. Again,
To his right. He doesn't want to scramble to his left. He couldn't scramble to his right.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he'd be throwing across his body if he's moving left. So he's trying to go right, can't go right. He did end up getting all the way around, the long way around on one of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was it's a form of QB contain that it took them until the end of the game to figure out, oh, we could stack up on this side to.
I just never seen a team do that before in the 3-3-5, where they put all three defensive linemen, center, guard, left tackle, and just left the other two over there.
And I wonder if you go back
productive.
I wonder if you go back and look at the tape, if you're playing an extra linebacker to the other side, then or leaking that one defensive lineman. You're saying they only ran two in or pressure two. Maybe you're leaking the other defensive lineman out.
The other guy back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, the nose, who would have been over the guard, looked like they were leaking him over to that right side, but he wasn't, or to the left side, but he wasn't rushing. He was just kind of occupying space over there. Guys, I'm not going to get into our millionth 3-3-5 discussion. They don't have the secondary to play man. That's what it comes down to. They don't have the secondary to play man defense. And they don't have the pass rush to play man defense. Like, you got to have both of those things to be really good playing man defense.
Now, that said, I think that you can, and we saw it in at least in one possession. They did run it a man defense, but I think you need to be able to sprinkle that in from. You need to be able to sprinkle
one play.
So I'm saying, though, you should be able to sprinkle that in for more than one play a game. Like, you should have more looks to your defense than, well, we hope that you don't just start running, curls and slants to eat up the zone and find your zone breakers.
Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing is they get what they want if they don't give up the huge plays. It's a strategy. They're going to make you work all the way down the field with the belief that at some point in time you're not going to convert on third down, or you're going to make a mistake, and you're going to either have to kick a field goal or punt. And that's fine and dandy. But like you said, when they play Baylor, when they play TCU, like, those teams are trying to hit on you from 40, 50, 60 yards out.
Yep.
They're not going to be just content. And Kansas likes to do that too with their misdirection, with, causing your guys to make mistakes. Kansas does that too. So they got burnt by the big play today.
Yep.
But they do not have Sauce, Kobe, and more importantly, Myjai Sanders, who had the quarterback running for his life at all times.
He literally was the definition of havoc play.
Yeah. So, yeah. What else you got defensively?
I don't know.
Peak had a sack, tackle for loss, and a forced fumble.
He did.
Hard to keep that dude off the field.
It's still crazy to me, absolutely crazy to me, that he continues to find ways to just punch these balls out. That people aren't looking for that anytime he's coming. I don't know. It's absolutely crazy to me.
I don't know if it just, it happens so fast in the flow of the game or what, but I mean, he's just a master at it. A master at it.
I did think outside of goal day today, though, I wanted to see more out of the linebackers, I guess. I thought there was an opportunity where I remember once or twice where Jonathan Thompson's in the backfield and it doesn't end up with anything.
Daniels ran right past him on one.
Jack Dingle ends up, he had a big stop there towards the end of the game, but I didn't see him flying around the field. I guess I would hope that you'd see a guy who's been in the program as long as he is, kind of making more than one big play in a game. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy he made one big play, but I would at that position I would think that you'd see a little bit more Jack Dingle maybe. I don't know. I just probably getting a little greedy, but maybe that's what you need when you're trying to create turnovers is linebackers with just a big stick in the middle of the open field, or getting into some of the intermediate plays that we're seeing the zone give up a lot of.
Yeah. There needs to be a continued evolution, because again, like Rocco Becht is not a guy that's going to just come out and like dominate you with his arm talent. But Rocco Becht is going to take what you give him all day. So you got to be careful what you give him, because, it's go ahead.
I was just going to say, going back to the linebacker, like if Jake Golday and Jack Dingle are both done after this season, who's next at that linebacker? Like, you want to see somebody start to step up and make some of those plays where it's not just
Sims, Coleman, and Whedon. Step on up, boys.
Where it's not just Jake Golday making all the plays. You want to see some of these other guys start to step up. And I think Thompson's a junior, so he's got
one more
next year. So that's where I want to see. I think you hit the nail on the head with the word evolution. You want to see more than just Golday.
He's also just he's everywhere. I don't know how anybody else gets to do anything.
That the fumble that went out of bounds. His closing speed was insane. His closing speed.
One more yard to the sideline. You know that how did that ball hit that guy and just continue? It didn't pop up at all. It just glanced as a pitch. You would think that thing would hit and pop up, right?
It was,
but
weird.
It didn't. It just glanced off his shoulder pad and went straight out of bounds.
But from him to go from 0 to his top speed of 22 point whatever, it felt like anyway, that quickly. I did not know I knew he moved fast. That we've talked about until we're blue in the face about how fast he moves, but to see it in real time, to go from standstill to that speed and close on that ball as quickly as he did it was crazy. Absolutely crazy to watch.
Bit of an aside. This is the best game Satterfield has called as our coach. Incredibly impressed. I don't know what was different for this game. I think we talked about it, man. I think they didn't try to get cute. They didn't try to overthink it. They stayed with what was working. They mixed it up, but they stayed with the same principles of what was working. They just used different guys to do the things, right, Aaron? It wasn't just Cyrus Allen runs this route and we throw it to him 6 times. It was.
They did that.
They did do that.
2 plays in a row. They did exactly that.
But Sorsby did a great job dissecting the defense. And I thought they did a really good job running guys into spaces against Kansas zone. And Sorsby delivered through good passes all day.
Like we talked about, the intermediate game took off today. And that's the first time in probably 10 games of Brendan Sorsby that don't include Northwestern State, where the intermediate game was elevated to a spot where I thought the routes were good that were called. I thought that, maybe it just took sitting down. I don't know. I don't know what they did differently, but I wonder if they got input from Sorsby and the receivers. What routes are more comfortable for you? What are you seeing, and put together the game plan?
Yeah, they executed at a high level today. And Aaron, this just inserts an entirely different mentality into this going into next week. And if they play Iowa State tough and they lose, and you're 1-1, but you got this Kansas win on the road and you're 1-1 after these 2 games, I think the mood is still pretty positive.
However, if you get back to Nippert and you're able to do what you did offensively today against Iowa State and their defense,
I don't think you'll be able to do that, but be good instead
I
of.
don't mean put
I
up
know.
damn near 600 yards, but I mean if you're able to continue to
Yeah.
to build, if you're able to take today's tape and build on your intermediate game, I think that will continue to open up the run game. I think that will continue to open up the deep game that we still have yet to see shades of from what we saw the first 5 games of Brendan Sorsby's career.
Yeah.
So I think that there's still just a lot of room for growth. But I think we talk about wanting to get a signature win for Coach Scott Satterfield, and today you got a signature win. You can build on that. That builds confidence. I think that the mood in Nippert is going to be different next week. I think that it builds confidence in the fans. It builds confidence in the players. It builds confidence in the staff. And I think that I wrote about this in my prediction piece. I think that this is something that you can build on, the belief that what you're doing is actually working.
Yeah. And the confidence boost that you get from today is massive. Because that's a good Kansas football team. That is to see them live, that is a good Kansas football team.
You wouldn't know it by the fog message boards right now as they're calling for Leopold to be fired. Worst hire ever, apparently.
That's a good Kansas football team. That's a good Kansas football team. Cincinnati took their best shot today and got the win.
It's the best football team they've had since 3 years ago when
Jalen Daniels second junior year,
his 1.0 version versus his 2.0 version.
Well, then he got hurt, and then he was not good last year. But 3 years ago, how about this? Jalen Daniels came into college football the year after Joe Burrow played at LSU. That's how long Jalen Daniels has been playing college football.
I made the joke earlier. It's his 17th season. Truth, he's 6th year.
But that's a good Kansas football team. You took their best shot. You kind of got screwed along the way, and you still fought. You didn't get down when you have 4 touchdowns call back. Like, it would have been easy to just go, we'll get them next week. Like, we're fine. Played a good game. We'll get them next week. And they didn't. And they kept battling, and they got across the finish line, and they got the job done. And that's a big one for Scott Satterfield and company. It's a big one. Got anything else?
Steven Rusnick. We didn't talk about special teams at all.
Special teams. Awesome.
Steven Rusnick was perfect. He has continued to be perfect. It almost feels automatic when he's going out there. And that's a nice feeling to have. Yes, you got jobbed out of several touchdowns and had to settle for a field goal several times. Not a couple, but several at 3. But yeah, he comes out and he hits the field goals. But I thought that even the punt game was good both ways.
3 50-yard punts, Aaron. He punted 3 times, all of them for 50 yards, all of them inside the 20. Like, that's he threw like a complete game shutout. It's not a no-hitter.
It was a perfect inning.
Complete game shutout. It wasn't complete game shutout for Mason Fletcher. So we talked about, Dave was big on how good Kansas special teams were. Mm-hmm. And imagine if they give that touchdown to Covey.
Well, they took Henderson.
Teams looks amazing.
Man. But they took Henderson out completely. Truthfully, if he had let that one kickoff go that he did return,
it was out of bounds.
Probably bounces out of bounds.
Yeah.
But instead, he ends up with 1 return for 20 yards. But they were not going to let him beat them as he did last week.
Yeah. Cincinnati won special teams today, and it was a big part of winning this game.
We talk all the time about winning the hidden yardage game. And today, while you had 1,200 of yards tangible, which That's bananas.
Insanity.
But yeah, I think you certainly won the game today. The hidden yardage game that we generally have come up short in these types of games, and that's.
Oh, I did want to get to this too. Cincinnati had drives today, Aaron, of 75 yards, 61 yards, 75 yards, 69 yards, 82 yards, 69 yards, and 75 yards.
I don't know that you're going to be able to get those type of that many consistently get that many drives of that magnitude every game in this conference. But again, the stuff that you can build confidence on, you can look at the tape, see what you did and did well. And
more importantly, Aaron, the opposing defensive coordinator is now sitting down watching Cincinnati offense and going, shit. They got a bunch of dudes. They got a bunch of dudes that can put you in precarious positions and make plays. Yep. And that's, as you're 4 games into the season, you're a quarter of the way through the season, you're 3-1, and you're putting on tape stuff that's going to be really hard for the other team to defend. That's a lot better than the alternative. A lot better than the alternative. All right, that's going to wrap it up. Dave and Jeff tomorrow at 9 a.m. For the Bearcat brunch. Aaron and I will be back on Monday night with Brent and Ryan for the BBP. These weeks are so much more fun after wins. Thanks to everybody for stopping in, and we'll see you next time. That's The Aftermath, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!